Spirituality is something that I hold very near and dear to my heart, but I also believe is absolutely essential for people, and especially as a man in today's world, to have some sort of spiritual practice or some sort of spiritual background. And really, it's something I'm so passionate about that, I could go into a whole nother video about it. So I'm going to keep it kind of short, but basically, spirituality is awakening to yourself and life and reality as God and everything as divine and sacred. And so, really, if we're thinking of the foundation as, your habits and your disciplines, and we're thinking of the house as your life purpose, the spiritual the spiritual practice is like the roof. And it's like you have a beautiful mansion, right? You have this beautiful life purpose, which is supported by your habits. And on top of that mansion, you have this incredible roof, which is your spiritual journey, which is your soul. Basically, these habits and life purpose are fuel for your spirit, for your soul. And really, that's what this all comes down to. And, ancient texts and sages and wisdom tells us that you can have the perfect life, you can have all the money, you can have even a solid life purpose, and that will be fulfilling. You might feel, 80, 90% fulfilled. But if you're missing spirituality, if you're missing that connection to reality and life and love, you will be lacking something, and you will feel that. And eventually, most people will go to some sort of spirituality if they're conscious and wise. So why not just do it now and have that started now? And another thing that's valuable about spirituality is it floods out into all aspects of your life. So with women, with friends, with family, with your life purpose, will all revolve around that divinity, and you will see it as divine versus like just a way to make money or a way to have sex or a way to, get along with your family or whatever, and have friends for like companionship. But it's like there's this depth, this infinite depth that comes to life with your spiritual practice and journey. And it really makes you unshakable. It makes you so grounded and strong when you're in that, that spiritual identity, that spiritual truth. You really reach a new level of sturdiness and stability, which can't be shaken by, money and sex and these temptations, these things. And it's not that it's bad or we have to demonize sex and money, and you can be spiritual and still, be a badass and make money. And it doesn't mean you have to become like a soft hippie or, super like lovey-dovey. You can still have your balls and do spirituality. In fact, I would say the realest men are the most conscious, like Peter Ralston, Ken Wilber, Michael Singer. These guys, they're leaders, they're real men. They're leading people to higher consciousness and awakening. And they're not pussies. They're not like hippies. They're badass guys. They're very grounded and whole, like Aubrey Marcus. Even Joe Rogan is like a spiritual guy. So it doesn't have to be a threat to your masculinity. And in fact, it can make you a more holistic and solid man. It's also very important as a man to have at least some close friends that you can count on and rely on. And also things like men's groups. You can find tons of men's groups, conscious men's groups online. And it's really nice to have that community and that brotherhood and that support, because this can be a very lonely path, to walk this path of consciousness. And it can feel very lonely at times. And to have other men that you can speak to and connect with is almost vital for your growth, and getting that reflection and feedback that on things that you can't see can really help you to catapult your growth and just feel more secure and supported in your life. Also, it's good to go outside of your family to find, community, people who think like you, people who resonate with your values and your goals, and, people that you can have fun with and laugh with and do this spiritual journey with, And it's really not that hard to find community. I mean, it's not easy, but it's also, you have to push yourself and face your fears, face your insecurities, and just go out there and be social and meet people. And it's another level, especially in this day and age where we're just always on our laptops and we're always on our phones. And that's how we're kind of getting our socialization. It's so much more human and healing and real and messy even to go and have those relationships in person with real people. And having a community is just so grounding, and it just makes the whole spiritual journey much more fun. The next pillar is women. And I don't mean this in like a kind of douchebag Dan Blazarian way of like fuck a bunch of women, but more in the sense of really opening to the feminine and the gift of the feminine and finding, yourself as a man in relation to women. So how do you relate to women? Are you comfortable? And if not, women are a great mirror. They basically teach you where you're lacking or where there's cracks in your character. And, women are just like the perfect mirror for you as a man. And especially if you find a quality, loving, kind, spiritual woman, she can really open you to different perspectives of seeing life that within the masculine frame we can't really see and we don't really get exposure to. Things like, love and beauty, and not that we can't tap into those things as men, of course we can, but the feminine really emphasizes that, especially a real tantric feminine woman. They just have so much to offer, and there's just so much support and love and fun that they can bring into your life and really balance you out, especially if you're heavy on the masculine energy and you're committed to your life purpose and you got your habits and your discipline. Having a woman can really kind of balance out that energy, and also it just feels great to have that in your life. And I think it's very healing as a man to have a supportive woman in your life. Along with that, if you're a younger guy and you haven't had a lot of experience with women, I really recommend doing pickup and learning how to do pickup. And it doesn't have to always be with spiritual, the perfect woman, but just learning how to talk to women, how to open, realizing that they're not these scary creatures that we make them out to be, just getting used to building your confidence with women. And that can make such a drastic shift in how you feel about yourself and how you look at yourself. And I know that it can be difficult out there. Like, rejection sucks. It's not fun. Some women are not nice. It's not always easy, but what's the alternative? Are you just going to be watching porn all your life, or not interacting with women and just, being on video games and things like that? So I really recommend that you tackle this early on in life. It's huge, actually. I would say this is like the number 2 next to spirituality. This is the most important thing. So yeah, really learn how to talk to women, learn how to engage with women and have fun with them and get good with them. And it will provide infinite fruits for your journey in developing as a man. All right. And the last thing on the list here is therapy and coaching. And I think this is essential as a man for you to find someone who can, who you can be open with. Maybe they have a background in psychology, like a therapist, or they're just doing coaching. Preferably also with some kind of spiritual knowledge or background, who, you can feel safe to open up with, you feel trustworthy. This kind of a therapist or a coach can make a 90% change on your psyche, your psychology, your life. Again, it's like that community, but it's more personal, it's more individual. With your community, you can't go into depth with everybody there and get support from everybody there. And even with your friends, they still aren't really professionals. They still have their biases. And of course, therapists do too, but they're a little bit more unbiased. They don't really know you as a friend. So it's just, you kind of just get right down to brass tacks. You get right into the dirty business of your psyche, your anxieties, your fears, your traumas. And to have another human there to hold space for you and work with you through these things is just so healing. And, so many people report that the second they start doing therapy, their life changes drastically. And there's just so much healing and self-awareness and growth that comes from that. So I'm a huge proponent of therapy. A lot of people shit on it these days. They're like one mushroom ceremony is like 15 years of therapy. It's like, whatever, like fine, I guess. But at the same time, no, that's not really true. Because if you're doing weekly therapy for 15 years, that's weekly. You're reviewing yourself. You're doing self-analysis. You're working with a professional. And this is just so essential to growing as a man and understanding yourself and healing yourself. And I can't recommend this enough. Now, to conclude, I want you to see yourself as a warrior or a monk or a ninja. And what you're doing is you're fighting against mediocrity. You're fighting against a passionless life, because you know that life is meant to be joyful. You know that life is meant to be vital and passionate and enjoyable and fun, and you're supposed to feel good and powerful as a man. And you're not going to settle for the script that society, that your family, that your friends have written for you. And you're going to stand up and fight for your right to be a man, to live a good life, and to be a conscious, loving, kind man. Waking up early and meditating and eating healthy will feel more pleasurable than drinking and watching porn and doom scrolling on social media. Getting your life together and moving towards your vision of who you want to be will be more pleasurable, more enjoyable than any of the small superficial pleasures. And I want you to make a commitment to yourself that you will do whatever it takes to get out of this negativity and to reach your peak as a man, and to realize that nothing can stop you except for yourself. There is no real, legit, non-illusory thing going on in your mind or thing about you that means that you can't become the man you want to be, and to live the life you want to live, and to feel the way you want to feel. Really vision yourself reaching your peak and really feeling how would that feel, how amazing that would feel, and to age like fine whiskey, to age like fine wine into a more and more delicate, more and more flavorful, authentic version of yourself. I want you to really feel that that's possible for you, and to fall in love with that process. And also to realize that it might not always make sense. It might be confusing. It might be scary. You might doubt. Like, that's all fine. But to remember right action, and to remember that as long as you're taking the steps to becoming who you want to be, doing right action and avoiding wrong action, just doing it like a fucking robot, you will eventually, things will start to work out. It might take a year. It might take 2 years, but the wheels will start to turn. You'll start to gain momentum, and you will start to become the man that you want to be. I wish you luck on your journey, and I know that you can do this if you just believe in yourself. So go ahead and start tomorrow. Write down tonight or today, like just brainstorm, listen to some music, write down who you want to be, what actions you need to take, what actions you need to cut out, and then just commit and stick to it. And you've got this. I believe in you. I know you can do it because I did it. You know, there's no reason I should have done this. There's no reason I should have conquered all these demons and slayed all these anxieties and fears. Like, the only reason was because I kept with it. I stuck to it, and I was disciplined. And there's no reason that you can't cultivate and become like that as well. So with that, I'm signing off. I wish you luck. I wish you love. And we can make the world a better place. And we got this. We fucking got this. Cheers, guys. Bye.